Hey YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino beer review. Today we're going to look at a beer that was picked up for me by Greg. He went to a beer store near his house and he picked this up for me. This is a beer I've heard a lot about lately, and I hear that it's more marketing than substance, so we'll see what we think here. Yeah, right here, Ace Hill Pilsner. So Ace Hill Pilsner is a Pilsner brewed in Toronto under contract. Don't know where they contract brew. Don't care. I could probably find out if I really looked it up. Don't care to look it up, to be honest with you. Just don't care to look it up. What is this? It's 4.9, I do believe. Yeah, 4.9% alcohol. Brewed in Ontario. Water, barley malt, hops, and yeast. The Ace Hill Pilsner is slow crafted in Canada with the utmost attention to detail, resulting in a delicious, easy-drinking, award-winning beer. Now, I don't know if I've actually read Ace Hill's name anywhere recently. I don't remember it. What awards have you guys won? And I'm not actually trying to be a dick here. I'm just going off of memory, because every time the Ontario Brewing Awards comes up, we do a video on it. Every time the Canadian Brewing Awards comes up, we do a video on it. Usually the U.S. World Beer Awards, the U.S. Open and all that, we do a video on. And I don't remember Ace Hill in any of that. So I'm not being a dick. Is it just completely leaving my mind and it was there, or where were the awards won? Ace Hill Beer Company Inc. in Toronto, Canada. Now, from what I hear, these guys are in a lot of the higher-end restaurants in Toronto. I'm gonna drink it out of the James Reddy mug, because I mean, James Reddy was a lot about marketing. It was also about price. Now this was a $3 can, I do believe, $3.05 maybe at the beer store. So we're looking at a higher end can, but I mean, it is a contract brew. We did talk about that on BDU last night, how contract breweries always have to charge more if they're going to come anywhere close to making ends meet. And that is the main problem here, is that they are going to have to charge more. And a Pilsner isn't something that I really would think I'd see made by a craft brewery, for a couple of reasons. A Pilsner is lagered, so it's sitting in the host brewery's tanks longer. It's just not something that I've normally ever thought I'd see. Also, there's just so many Pilsners out there that even if it's the best Pilsner in Canada, it comes down to, are you willing to pay the extra price for the best Pilsner in Canada when you can get a Pilsner that tastes close to the same? I'm not going to say the exact same, but close to the same, probably for 50 cents less. Now, the beer is crystal clear, straw yellow, a little bit of carbonation moving. The head was bright white. It does look the part. It looks like a good little Pilsner. Scent. Smells like a good little Pilsner. It actually smells like a Euro Pilsner. It has a little bit of that straw nose to it, a little bit of that earthiness, a tiny bit of that sulfuric water. It almost smells like they made hard water on purpose. Euro lagers that come off with that little bit of a sulfuric scent. You're kind of getting that on this. Now, let's try it. Cheers. Okay, so first and foremost, as you all know, I don't drink my beer cold. I drink it basement temperature. I just put it on the floor, right on the cement, let the cement cool it down a little bit, and I drink it. I'm more European in my temperature of my beer. I mean, some people love their beer cold, some people love it full-on room temperature, some people love it cool, some people love it mediocre like me, where it's still a little cool, but it's not warm, and that's how I like my beer. So you can't hide faults. So, and with a Pilsner, it's usually a beer that's drank ice cold. So the first thing I'll say is there is no faults in the beer. There isn't any faults that I can pick up. Not saying that I am the be-all, end-all of picking up faults. There are people with much better palates than mine, but I don't pick up a fault. That being said, it's not cold, and I could drink it. I mean, even at this temperature, I could sit here and drink the whole thing. Next point, though, is it much better than a macro Pilsner? I don't know. I don't know if I'd say that. I mean, micro Pilsners I'm not usually a huge fan on because a lot of them over-hop them or use New World hops. And the New World hop Pilsners are the ones I seem to like the most. But this one isn't really coming off with a big grassiness or a big spiciness or a big earthiness. It's just kind of there. There's a little bit of that cut grass and earthy tones in the back end, and there's a little bit of like a straw and neutral cereal graininess up at the forefront. So just the tiniest touch of sweetness at the forefront, tiniest touch of bitterness at the back end. But I mean, other than that, it's basically what you'd expect from, say, a Pilsner Urquell or a Dab or a Holsten or any other import beer. There is a little bit more of a hoppiness that lasts a little longer on this one, and it tastes more like a real hop, not that telltale European hop extract that a lot of them use. Yeah, for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, the hop extract that's used in, say, like Kronenberg 1664 and stuff. That hop extract to me is you can taste it in a lot of beers that use it. I don't know exactly which hop extract they're using, but whatever company makes that hop extract seems to taste the same in a lot of European beers. But I mean, what is there to it? Not much. It's a fine beer, and if you like it, that's great. It's probably great in the restaurants it's in, because it would be a cleansing beer. It would cleanse your palate. You could drink this with anything because it's such a neutral flavor, but it would just wash the taste off your tongue and let you go on to the next thing. So if you have a plate that has like 4 different things and you don't want those flavors to mingle, you could keep drinking a sip of this, clean out your palate, just leave yourself with that little slightly bready finish from the yeast, and go on to the next part of your meal and keep doing it that way until you're done. I mean, it would be a great food pairing beer. Don't get me wrong, great food pairing beer. I can see why it would be in a lot of restaurants, but at the same time, I almost agree, especially when you look at the price, that it's more marketing than substance. It has a great logo. That logo would look good on a lot of marketing, and it's a fine Pilsner. But the macro guys make a fine Pilsner too. It's one of those beer styles that the big guys do fairly well. The hell is my dog clawing at? Is it so much better that I would pay an extra 70 cents on top of what a macro beer would cost me per can? No, probably not. Is it so much better that if I had a choice of, say, a Pilsner Urquell or this at a restaurant, and one was, say, $5 for a pint and one was $5.50, I don't even know what this costs per pint. I'm just giving you an example here. Yeah, I would spend the extra 50 cents for this. But if it was a Pilsner Urquell for $5 or this for $7, I'd go with the Pilsner Urquell. There's no reason for me to pay that extra $2, unless you're one of the people that only wants to drink local and stuff like that. Then sure, do whatever you want to do, whatever your belief system is, do that. Is it a bad beer? No, it's not a bad beer. It's not a bad beer, but it's a Pilsner, and it's done properly to a Pilsner, and that means that it's nothing different than a lot of macro Pilsners. It tastes fairly macro-esque, but as I said, instead of tasting like it's hop extract, it tastes like a real hop. But other than that, it's not like something like, say, Pivo Pils from Firestone Walker that uses New World hops and is just so much different, or a lot of the other Pilsners you can get from some craft breweries I would say I'd pick this over, say, the Mythology Pilsner from Flying Monkeys. I do not like that beer at all. I would pick this over a lot of Pilsners, but at the same time, if I'm sitting there and I have choices of other Pilsners that are close to the same but are a lot cheaper in price, I'd go with those. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Greg, for picking it up. Cheers. It drinks well. Bye.